Well, hello there. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Samantha. I'm an artist, a creative here on YouTube, and this channel is all about inspired living for multi-passionate people. Whether you're an artist, creative, or somebody who just is interested in multiple things in their life, my hope is that I get to share my journey and that it will help you navigate your own when it comes to dealing with multiple passions. Today, I am going to be showing you a portrait process. It is an analogous color study. Something I don't do that often, but the reference photo very much so kind of just nudged me into that direction. It was just the natural vibe of the entire portrait. And this is really meaningful and kind of serendipitous because when I painted this darling subject, it reminded me of the sunrise. And that is something that I will be talking to you today as I'm working on this. So the colors that I used are from red, orange, and yellow. So colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. I used just a little bit of green to complement the colors, but we'll get to that later. Right now I am just laying out some local colors for her skin tone, the lips, the hair, and then you will see me start building on this. As I am building on this painting, I wanted to talk about some stuff, little updates and some lessons that I would like to share along the way, and I hope that it helps you if especially you are feeling out of it, you are feeling ungrounded and maybe a little stuck. So, my husband and I just came back from Australia for my sister's wedding. We've been preparing for it for quite a few months now, and as expected, it was one of the most beautiful and heartfelt weddings I've ever been to. I had the honor of singing during the reception. It was really fun. Most importantly, I gained an amazing brother-in-law who lovingly takes care of my sister. And I met some wonderful people and even rekindled with a few people that I've known for a really long time that I haven't seen in literally decades. And I've learned some amazing, important life lessons that I will cherish for the rest of my life. It's been about 2 weeks since I got back from the wedding. And upon returning, although I was extremely happy to see my entire family, I was also a little sad. I was sad while I was there. Seeing everybody together. Like, I was sad that I didn't really know the next time that we would be together all over again, because the last time we were together was in 2020 when my father passed away, and it's been 5 years since. Life can be so busy sometimes, and we're all caught up in our own stuff, and I've been feeling a little floaty and ungrounded. It's a little bit hard living far away from a lot of the people that I love. You know, I'm very fortunate to still have family here in the States, but most of my family lives in the Philippines and my sister lives in Australia. Now, you know, there's just so many things that I want to do. And, you know, it got me thinking, like, what actions do I really need to do to get to my goals? And, you know, feel a little bit more planted. Don't get me wrong, like, objectively, the fact that I was even able to go to my sister's wedding was a surreal blessing in itself, but just being with everybody again, it lit a fire in me. Like, it was this internal motivation that I wanted to do everything in my power and continue to want to do this, to make moments like this happen more often and feel more planted in my beingness as a person. So, back to when we were there. While I was basking in a Monet-like garden scenery with my family during the post-wedding celebrations, I sat next to my new sister-in-law who was conversing about her life in the UK. And, she doesn't really know about this, but while we were talking, there was something that really stood out to me. She said that she spends the first hours of her day not looking at her phone. It's like, okay, cool. It's really something that I do want to do. Then she journals and does some type of reflection or gratitude practice and truly connects with herself first thing in the morning. Now, I've been trying to do that. Prior to leaving, I was already doing some sort of a gratitude practice, but I would look at my phone right away. So, in a way, that conversation stuck with me mainly because she is one of the most beautiful people I've ever met. She has a genuine sense of lightness, and she brought comfort just by existing, her presence. And I knew that no matter what life threw at her, she learned how to be grounded. She's elegant, she's calm, she knows how to respond, and is beautiful inside and out. And that really inspired me. That's something that I want to think about as I, go through the motions of everyday life. So, when I got back home and finally recovered from jet lag, I knew that I wanted to implement these new suggestions, these new habits. And first thing I did was, upon arriving, I immediately bought a standalone alarm clock. I didn't know that these existed, but this is one that emulated the sunrise. So a light turns on an hour before your alarm goes off. It starts off red, then orange, then yellow, just like this painting. And then it slowly gets brighter and brighter until it becomes a full bright light. So what I did was I placed the alarm across the way on my desk instead of my bedside table. And this kind of forces some Mel Robbins action in the beginning of the day. It forces me to get up on my feet, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just turn the alarm off. And, I'm not perfect. I wish I could be. Sometimes I go back to bed. But overall, as an effect of this, just in the beginning couple of weeks, I've been waking up at least 1 hour than I usually do every day, sometimes 2 hours, which is freaking awesome. This in itself has led to an upward spiral, so far. I've been waking up earlier, then continuing on with my journal practice. I do morning pages from the Artist's Way. Then I do a gratitude practice. I meditate or do a couple of classes from the Quest on Mind Valley. And then I look at my online bullet journal, which I will actually update you guys about because I moved to a different app. Then I start getting my tasks done, my cleaning, and just tick my tasks for the day. I've been kind of sticking to 3 major tasks per day. And it looks like this sunrise alarm clock is my new keystone habit. And it is a habit that I have added on to my older keystone habits. And it is kind of just connecting all of these parts of my life that I've been wanting to incorporate or to get better at overall. So that being said, if you are feeling a little underwhelmed, stuck, or even ungrounded, I would really try to suggest waking up with the sunrise. So open your windows. Don't close your windows or your blinds. And maybe wake up at least an hour earlier than usual. Start by that and get a little baby morning routine started with just you. Show up for yourself. If you fill up your cup, you'll be able to show up for everything and everyone else with a full heart and open mind, and be ready with anything that the day throws at you. You got this. Okay. Now back to my sunshine girl. she's looking pretty fun recently. And one thing that I really enjoyed about this painting is learning how to use different brush strokes to be more confident in how everything kind of melds together. I'm still working on this. I'm noticing as I'm watching back that I still do short brush strokes sometimes, but I'm also learning to do like more fluid lines and lines that are more intentional and articulate to really kind of showcase some line work. I know that I'm good at blending colors and choosing colors, but one thing that I definitely want to start working on is like intentional line work. As you can see at the décolletage part, I put a little bit of green just to complement the analogous color scheme that is happening on the top part of her head especially. Another thing to take note is that I am using a lot more darker versions of the colors that I'm working with, like a burgundy red or like a deeper, more saturated orange for the values, the darker values, the mid-tones and the darks, instead of using black because it's more interesting. Black is just a little too stark sometimes, so it really depends on where your portrait's at. I actually rarely use black anymore for the darkest darks. And I'm just blending, just trying to reinforce those darker values because you can't get to like a deep dark value right away. Sometimes you need to go back to it, especially when you're working with watercolor, because you kind of want to start from light to dark. Now, if I'm going to start using gouache or a different medium, then maybe I'll approach this differently. But for watercolor especially, you kind of want to start with the lightest values and build your way up. Yeah, so at this point, I am just doing a couple finishing touches, especially in the neck area. And I am using this color erase pencil. It's like a colored pencil that can be erased. That's very self-explanatory, kind of silly for me to say. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of line work to finish off the pseudo necklace that she has. I didn't go crazy detailed on this necklace. It was kind of an afterthought, to be honest with you. But it kind of gives her character. And I was just kind of painting what I saw a little bit. I don't have to always create from scratch, you know? And that brings us to the end of this video. Just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope this little talk helped you and inspired you to get creative with the beginning of your day. And if you liked it, please hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell for more videos in the future, and I'll see you next time. Ciao. Bye. Mwah.